introduce you to sled dog racing on Dryland.
Off they go. There we go. There we go. Bib number 271 in the lead. She's out first out of the gate. 270 right at her heels. Annette has Blizzard and Sally out front.
I'm Teresa Steele.
And I'm Kevin Stunek. Good morning.
And we are here to introduce you to sled dog racing on Dryland. I've been to snow races, and Kevin, have you ever been out here for any races?
I've been out here for car races, Teresa, but never been out for a dog race before.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and see what this is all about. We're at the start line now in the chutes talking to Rick Harvey, the race marshal, and he has many jobs to do here as this, and he's also our official starter. So Rick, can you tell us a little bit about that?
As far as the starting, we bring them in the chute. They have 1 minute in the chute. I usually give them a 30-second count, and then a 15, and then a 10, and count down to 1, and then send them off.
Okay. As Teresa said, and as you've agreed, we're standing in the chute here, and for the people watching on the TV here, the chute is actually 2 lanes, so they kind of line up side by side, and as you said, you kind of start at 15, 10, 5, and away we go, and then they go around the track and finish, correct?
Correct. 2 teams go out at the same time, so they're kind of racing each other most of the way around the trail, and then they will probably meet some other teams and do some passing at the same time.
Okay, last night at the registration over at Zorba's on Gull Lake, we went through some of the rules, and maybe you could just go through one of the rules that's confusing to me a little bit is when they leave the chute and they're racing, when can they pass versus when can't they pass?
They can pass basically any time. When they're leaving the chute, the first approximately 100 yards is 2 different trails, and they stay in that trail, but they can pass each other at that time. Also, but they can call for trail and pass the other team at any time around the trail.
So my understanding is when they call for trail, that's a signal to the other team that they're going to be passing.
That they're going to try to pass, yes, and they're supposed to try to slow down and steer to the side so the other team can get by with a clean pass.
Okay, I guess I have nothing else. So from the chute and from the starting line, Teresa, anything to go?
Yeah, I have one other question. What happens if somebody doesn't make their chute time?
If they don't make their chute time, they start at the end of the class 1 minute after the last team would go out.
Does their time start at that time?
Their time starts when it should have started on their original start time.
So if they're the first team out and there are 10 teams behind them and they're going out dual starts, so they're 5 minutes late, then they get an extra 5 minutes on the time. Well, Kevin, most often when you come to a dog race, you think you'd have countries represented that are cold. We have people here from Saskatchewan, Canada, and we also have people from the East Coast, Pennsylvania, and from Washington State on the West Coast, and some states in between. But we have also a team here from Jamaica.
Well, that's interesting. We should just track those guys down and see what's going on.
This is Damien Robb from Jamaica. Good morning, Damien.
Good morning, miss.
How do you think you're doing in this cold weather?
Well, I'm bearing with it, but I'm not so okay.
Okay. And who are you working with here in Minnesota?
I'm working with Ken and Donna Davis from Saginaw, Minnesota.
Okay. Is he around?
Yeah, he's around. And that's.
Ken's joining us now. Ken, you're working with the Jamaican sled dog team. How did you get involved?
We're friends with Rick and Annette Johnson, and they became involved going down there, setting up their team, and then they asked me to go down there and help them. And so I helped, and I met Rob while we were down there, and then we started setting up. We were here last year with Devin Anderson, so we came up here this year with Rob. So.
Okay.
We're here with Jerry Vanek, and we're going to ask him a couple questions. Jerry, I'm curious, when we go to any kind of other events, whether it be car racing or a football game, there's always medical personnel to take care of people. I see on your hat it says veterinarian. You must obviously be here for the dogs, the star of the show.
That's correct. The dogs are more important than the people are, so we look after the dogs. If the people get injured, it's their problem, but if the dogs get hurt, that's why we're here.
Okay, very good. Tell me a little bit, are there generally any kind of injuries, or are there some injuries during an event like this?
An event like this, you would get the kind of injuries that you would for any short event, acute type injuries. These dogs are athletes.
Okay.
So the injuries you would see here are going to be minimal, minor, and similar to what you might see at a competitive basketball game or football game. Strains and sprains and bruises. Nothing serious.
There goes that black husky on the left and pulling out. And good job. Pick it off. And there goes Calder and the Border Collie right behind them. Three moves. Let's get him. Got one blue eye and one brown eye.
I'm talking to Ted Wallace from Renshaw, Minnesota, which I gather is just south of Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah, just a little bit out, about 30 miles from downtown Duluth.
Okay, what do you do up in Renshaw?
Well, I'm a teacher. I teach in ESCO. I teach 5th grade.
Okay.
And I've been doing that for 35 years and racing dogs for 34.
Okay. Do you have a preference? Are the kids easier to handle or the dogs?
It's a comparable. I mean, they're kind of the same thing. It's like getting a group of individuals doing one thing, and that's what a dog team does.
Okay, very good. I'm kind of curious about your dog here that we have behind us. What's his name?
This is Magic.
Hi, Magic.
He's one of my team dogs. He's about 5 years old.
Okay.
Come here, Magic. Come here, Magic. No, he's not going to come up.
All right.
And he's pretty typical of what we see on a sprint race team. He's he's mostly Alaskan Husky, but he has a little bit of pointer in him. And we see that now in our racing, in the sprint racing especially, some different crosses. And pointer seems to work out really well for some of them.
Okay.
So this is a dog that I run lead. He runs in the team or lead.
Okay, very good. We talked earlier with the Jamaican team, and they kind of opened the door for training. What kind of training do these dogs go through before they get ready for a race like today?
Well, I start every year I start in the beginning of October or end of September, and with shorter miles to start with. I start at 2 miles, and then now I'm up to 4 miles, and next week I'll up it up to 6 miles on a wheel rig.
Okay.
Or I use a 4-wheeler, and my team pulls the 4-wheeler. I don't run the engine. Some people run the engine, but I have a smaller 4-wheeler that they can pull at the speed I want them to. So.
Okay, very good. As a former marathon runner and racer myself, you always prepare yourself by having certain diets and certain things like that, food groups. Is it similar with dog training?
Well, we feed them a high quality diet year round.
Okay.
I mean, and we would maybe increase the fat through the winter when it gets colder, but otherwise it's a high quality dog food year round.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you for your time and good luck today.
Yep, thanks a lot.
All right, we have bib number 270, Keith. Over next, we've got Lydia. Bib number 271 in the lead. She's out first out of the gate. 270 right at her heels. Annette has Blizzard and Sally out front. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off you go. Off you go. Go, 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 go. Bib number 272 out in the number 275 with Denver and Tyrone as her two lead dogs. Bib number 274 is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Off you go. 1. Off you go. Hi,
Okay, we're here at the weight pull preparing for the weight pull, which I've seen on snow, but I've never seen on a road, as you can see with the setup here. And the different breeds that are going to be weight pulling are various sizes. Cleo here is one of the smaller contestants, and Adam is the weight pull judge, is that correct?
Correct. I'm the judge for North American Dog Sports and Registry.
Okay, and how many do you think are going to be competing here?
It looks like we'll have probably 15, 20 dogs here today.
Okay, and do these dogs compete against each other at different races in different areas, or weight pulls in different areas?
Yes. NADSR is most prominent in Minnesota and Wisconsin, but
Okay.
there is weight pulls all over the country. Snow pulls, obviously, just in the north,
Okay.
but wheel pulls like we're doing today all over.
How much weight do they pull?
Well, it depends on the class. We have, everything from the Pee Wee class, like Cleo is,
Yes.
all the way up to the heavyweight class, which is 100-pound dogs plus.
Okay.
The big dogs pull, anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 pounds
Wow.
on wheels, and anywhere from 800 to 1,500 on snow.
Okay, okay.
And on down. As the classes go down, it goes down. The bigger dogs tend to pull a little smaller percentage than the little dogs. The little dogs pull a higher percentage. Most of your percentage records are held by small dogs.
Okay. Did you hear that, Cleo? You gonna go out there and do good? Okay, let's see what Kevin's got some questions too.
Well, this is really interesting to me. The only time I've been involved with any kind of weight pull or anything is I watch TV with the strongest man competition. Is this similar to that?
Similar in certain ways, but a little different. In a strongman competition, as I've seen them, generally they pick their weight, pick their top weight, pick what they can pull. This is round by round. We start out at a weight that all dogs can pull. And we up it a couple 100 pounds per round. And as the rounds increase, then dogs drop out until the end. So it's not just strength, it's also strength, the endurance of the strong dogs,
Okay.
is also judged here.
Okay, and walking around this morning, I've seen all kinds of size dogs. It seems to make sense to me. The bigger the dog, the more they could pull. The smaller the dog, not as much. But you alluded earlier that that's not quite the same. Can you maybe explain that a little more?
Well, there's percentage, involved. A dog's weight versus, how much it's pulling. A 7-pound dog, like Cleo, that pulls 300 pounds is pulling 30 times its weight, more than 30 times its weight. Where a big dog, 100-pound dog, maybe pulls 3,000, is pulling about the same, and that dog may not be able to pull 3,000 pounds, and so it is pulling a smaller percentage. So one could say that the little dogs are pulling more than the big dogs.
Okay, and that totally makes sense to me.
now at the finish line of the dog sled race, and our timer is sitting comfortably in a truck, which is the only place for a timer to sit because this is a very tense job. And since the 6 and 8 dog rigs are going to be going out shortly, she has a helper with her, Larry Miller. And now I'm going to hand the mic over to Kevin so he can ask questions.
Thank you, Teresa. I guess I'm curious. I'm looking inside the truck here. I see a lot of software, a lot of computers. Maybe I'll just have her explain exactly what goes on with that.
The computerized timing is done through Excel. Dave Steele, ISRA director, created the RaceWorks timing program 10 or 11 years ago, and I've been using it since its inception. Actually kind of was his beta tester for it. And I use the timing program for ISRA races exclusively. It's all based on Excel, and it's generated through the computer. You have set things that you put in as far as your start times, and you click the mouse when they come across the finish line, add a bib number, and their time is done.
Good job.
I'm here with Nancy Cross, who is the board
Director.
the director of Brainerd Community Action, and has been involved in many events. She was involved in this event last year and is again helping with the coordination of it this year. She and Dave Steele are both part of the National Ski Patrol, as you notice on her jacket, and they first started discussing this race when they were working on National Ski Patrol. So I'll have Nancy tell us about what the Community Action has done with this race.
Well, Teresa, we have just been very excited to be part of ISRA, and what Community Action brings to an event like this is the coordination, the detail, how many tents do you need? Do you need any heaters? Do you chairs? And where can we get this service or that service within the Brainerd Lakes area? And so when you team up ISRA, who certainly understands the sled dog racing industry, what the drivers need and what the dogs need, and then bring in Community Action who will help with the detail and what the community wants and needs, you have a quality event. And this event, I mean, when I started with Dave talking about this 3-4 years ago, I had absolutely no idea what a sled dog race was. I had been to one in my life and volunteered for that one and didn't know what I was doing anyway. So to have this type of an event here in the Brainerd Lakes area adds more to the area of things that we can do during our winter months, even when there's no snow. But we're going to do our snow dance and hope that it lets loose on us any minute now. So we really appreciate the quality that ISRA brings to an event like this, and for the Brainerd Lakes area, what a great opportunity for the general public to be involved with sled dog racing and to watch national racers as well as international racers compete right here in our own backyard. It's just a great opportunity, and we are very, very excited and happy to be part of the East Meets West Dryland Challenge.